Good morning, students. 10th Standard History Unit 3 World War II Continuation. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In the aftermath of Holocaust of UNO in its charter pledged to promote universal respect for and observance of human rights and fundamental freedoms for all without distinction to race, sex, language and religion. So the UN efforts to protect human rights on a global basis resulted in the constitution of UN Commission on Human Rights. A committee constituted under its auspices was chaired by Eleanor Roosevelt, wife of late President Franklin Roosevelt. So the members of the commission included Charles Malik of Lebanon, P.C. Chang of Nationalist China, John Humphrey of Canada, and René Cassin of France. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was its important contribution. So the Universal Declaration of Human Rights set forth fundamental human rights in 30 articles. The UN adopted this historic charter on 10th December 1948. This day is observed globally as Human Rights Day. Provisions of some 90 nation constitutions since 1948, according to the Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt Institute in New York, can be traced to this declaration. Birth of Israel. A major outcome of Holocaust was the creation of the state of Israel as a homeland for the Jews. While this was historically the original home of the Jews during Roman times. New international order. By 1941, the United States and Britain began to give serious consideration to the need for international cooperation for achieving lasting peace among all nations. So after the war 1939, United States and Britain, they are trying to make the peace among all nations. So international economic and financial stability were also important objectives. All these would need international organizations with members of the various nations across the world working together for these common objectives. This ultimately resulted in the establishment of the United Nations, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. Monetary money, that is International Monetary Fund, with many associated organizations which deal with basic issues of importance for all societies and countries. United Nations. The first initiative for the United Nations came from the United States and Britain in 1941 when they issued a joint declaration known as the Atlantic Charter. This declaration of the United Nations was accepted by all the 26 countries which were fighting against the Axis powers. Already you know that Axis power, Germany, Italy and Japan. On New Year's Day 1942, the Charter of the United Nations was signed on June 26, 1945 by 51 nations. So India, which was not an independent country, then also was a signatory to the Charter. So India also signed in the United Nations. And now the United Nations has 193 member states, and each one, big or small, they has an equal vote in the United Nations. So United Nations given for all the country, that is big or small, equal opportunity to promote the peace among the nations. The preamble of the United Nations. We, the peoples of United Nations, determined to save succeeding generations from scores of war. That is, after the war, there were the more damage and many people were killed. So many destruction. So which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind, and to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, in the equal rights of men and women and of nations large or small. This was a preamble to the United Nations. Next heading is the General Assembly and Security Council. The United Nations functions almost like any government through its principal organ, which are similar to the legislative, executive and judicial wings of the state. So in a General Assembly is a body in which each member state is represented. So it meets once a year and issues of interest and points of conflict are discussed in the assembly. The Security Council has 15 members. 5 countries, the United States, Britain, France, Russia and China are the permanent members, and there are 10 temporary members who are elected in rotation. These two bodies function like a legislature. Each of the permanent members has a right to veto any decision by the other members of the Security Council. So here this right has been used to block major decisions, that veto. So especially by the superpowers, the US and Russia. Major issues and conflicts are discussed in the Security Council. So Security Council is a very important council, General Assembly and the Security Council. Next it is the administrative structure. So the executive wing of the United Nations is the UN Secretariat. So it is headed by the Secretary General, who is elected by the General Assembly on the recommendation of the Security Council. The International Court of Justice, headquartered at The Hague in Holland, is the judicial wing of the United Nations. The Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, the fifth organs of the United Nations, is responsible for coordinating all the economic and social work of the United Nations. So here the regional economic commissions functioning for regional development across the various regions of the world, Asia Pacific, West Asia, Europe, Africa and Latin America, are organs of ECOSOC. They have been very successful and have been headed by the eminent economists like Gunnar Myrdal. Other important organs of the UN. Associated organizations deal with areas of critical interest to the world at large like food, health, education and culture. These are Food and Culture Organization, FAO, and World Health Organization, WHO. Then UNESCO, that is a UNESCO, UN Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. There are also special organizations funded voluntarily by member countries. The two best known among them are UNICEF, United Nations Children's Fund, which promotes child health and welfare across the world, and the UNDP, United Nations Development Program, which focuses on development. These are the important organs of the UNO. Here FAO, WHO and UNESCO, then UNICEF, UNDP. These are the important organs of the UN. Activities of the United Nations. So over the decades, the United Nations has expanded its activities in response to the changing problems facing the world. So thus in the 1960s, decolonization was an important issue. So human rights, the problems of refugees you know, ஒரு நாட்டிலேருந்து இன்னொரு நாட்டுக்கு வரவங்க அகதிகள்னு சொல்கிறது. ஸோ லேண்ட்லெஸ், countryless people, and climate change, gender equality, and all now within the ambit of the activities of the United Nations. So a special mention must be made of the UN peacekeeping force, which has acted in many areas of conflict all over the world. The Indian Army has been an important part of the peacekeeping force and has been deployed in many parts of the world. World Bank. The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, referred to as the Bretton Woods Twins, were both established in 1945 after the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944, located in Washington, district capital in the United States. They have the same membership since a country cannot be a member of the bank without being a member of the fund. This is a Bretton Woods Conference. The two main organs of the World Bank are the International Bank for the Reconstruction and Development, IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and the International Development Agency, IDA. Together, they are often referred as the World Bank. So, World Bank, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and International Development Agency. So, these two only referred as a World Bank. The main responsibility of the IBRD in the initial years was to fund the reconstruction activities under the Marshall Plan. It was a Marshall Plan in the European countries devastated by the war. So, the agenda later expanded to promote economic development in poorer countries, and the bank lends money to various countries for development projects. Here the loans, the Bank International Development Agency also lends money to government for developmental activities, and these loans are soft loans and are given at very low rates, that is low interest rates of interest for a period of 50 years. The International Finance Corporation, IFC, mainly functions with private enterprises in developing countries. Then in recent years, the bank is actively promoting the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals, which aim at improving living standards, removing illiteracy, empowering women, and improving maternal and child health, improving the environment, and eradicating AIDS. International Monetary Fund. The International Monetary Fund was primarily the brainchild of Harry Dexter White and John Maynard Keynes, the famous economist. It was formally organized in 1945 with 29 member countries. It is now has a membership of 189 countries. Its primary objective is to ensure financial stability and development across the world. The main agenda is to promote international monetary cooperation, expansion of international trade and exchange stability. Now this is at present, this is often unpopular, especially among the developing countries, which may have to cut down on various programs which provide subsidies to the people. The objectives of the IMF are to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world. Post-war welfare states in Europe. The term welfare state refers to the concept that the government is responsible for the social and economic welfare of the people, thus expanding the role of the state beyond providing defense and maintaining law and order. So in 1942, the report commonly known as the Beveridge Report was published in the United Kingdom, which proposed a series of measures which the government should adopt to provide citizens with adequate income, health care, education, housing and employment to overcome poverty and disease, which were the major impediments to general welfare. So after the war, the Labour Party was voted into power in Britain. It promised to undertake steps to look after the people from the cradle to grave. That is the பிறந்ததிலிருந்து இறக்கும் வரை, cradle to grave. Legislation was enacted to provide comprehensive free health coverage to the citizens, through the National Health Service and monetary benefits like old age pensions and unemployment benefits, child care services, and family welfare services. These are in addition to universal free school education to all children. So, Great Britain government given promise to the people, that is from the cradle to grave, பிறப்பு முதல் இறப்பு வரை, அதை தொட்டில் முதல் சுடுகாடு வரை இந்த மக்களை வந்து நாங்கள் நல்லா பார்த்துக்குறோன்ட்டு they gave the assurance. And the benefits can either be achieved through cash transfers like old age pensions and unemployment compensation or through free services. In addition, these countries also try to minimize economic disparities through progressive taxation by taxing the higher income groups at relatively high rates. So, summary of the lesson: World War II. The war lasted from 1939 till 1945 and was fought in almost every part of the world in Europe, Africa, and Asia Pacific. The Allies, initially Britain and France, and subsequently the USSR, that is Russia, and the United States, fought against the Axis powers Germany, Italy, and Japan. Initially, both the German army in Europe and Japan in the East were very successful. However, after the United States, with its enormous resources, also joined the Allies, both Germany and Japan were defeated after many prolonged fighting. The post-war world saw the rise of two superpowers, namely the United States and the USSR. Both countries were in an arms race, especially to build their nuclear weapons.